age dominated by screens, it is difficult to imagine a time when television was a singular and central medium of influence. During the mid 20th century, television sets were portals through which information, ideology, and entertainment were funneled into the private spaces of millions of homes. It was this very portal that avant-garde artist Nam June Paik sought to critique, dismantle, and reimagine. His now famous declaration, "The box is a fascist symbol and I sought to destroy it," is not a statement of mere artistic rebellion, but a deeply layered political and cultural provocation. It captures the essence of Paik's mission: to challenge the authoritarian structure of mass media and liberate the medium of television from its constraints, transforming it into a space of creativity, feedback, and freedom. This video explores the depth of Paik's statement by examining the cultural symbolism of the television as the box, the ideological weight of labeling it a fascist symbol, and how Paik's work systematically destroyed, or more accurately deconstructed, the power dynamics of mass communication. In doing so, we'll see how Paik redefined media art, opened new avenues for participatory technology, and helped plant the seeds of today's discourse on media democratization. To understand the quote's significance, one must first unpack what the box represents. The term is a colloquial reference to the television set, a fixed rectangular appliance that by the 1950s and 60s had become a dominant fixture in Western households. While television promised to inform and entertain, it also emerged as a tool for shaping public opinion and cultural norms. The form of the box itself is significant. It is a rigid frame offering a singular perspective, an image broadcast from a centralized authority to a passive viewer. In that sense, the television in its original design fosters one-way communication. Unlike a book, which the reader can interpret, pause, and revisit freely, or a conversation which invites reciprocal engagement, the television delivers a continuous stream of curated content with little room for interaction. This unilateral flow of information inherently reflects systems of control. When Paik called the box a fascist symbol, he wasn't suggesting literal fascism, though there were totalitarian regimes that used television for propaganda. Rather, he was using fascism as a metaphor for enforced conformity, suppression of individual agency, and rigid hierarchy. Fascism, in its ideological core, thrives on homogeneity, top-down control, and uncritical obedience, characteristics that Paik saw mirrored in the structure and function of traditional broadcast television. Nam June Paik's work was never about simple rejection. His genius lay in appropriation and transformation. He did not discard the television. Instead, he repurposed it, subverted it, and re-engineered it to reveal its latent possibilities. In effect, he sought to destroy its fascist qualities, its one-way nature, its authoritarian aesthetic, its passivity, while retaining and amplifying its potential for human expression. One of his earliest iconic works, Magnet TV 1965, involved placing a large magnet atop a functioning television set. The magnet field distorted the images on the screen, warping the broadcast into abstract forms. This act of intervention was both literal and symbolic. Paik disrupted the smooth transmission of mass media, challenging the viewer to reconsider the screen as an artistic space, not merely a device for passive consumption. In TV Buddha 1974, Paik created a closed-circuit installation where a Buddha statue gazes into a live feed of itself displayed on a monitor. The piece is a profound meditation on time, perception, and feedback. It upends the traditional role of television as a window to the external world, turning it inward, a recursive, contemplative loop. Here, Paik reconfigures television into a spiritual and philosophical mirror, breaking from its utilitarian roots. Perhaps his most ambitious project was Electronic Superhighway 1995, a massive installation that used hundreds of TV screens to represent the map of the United States. Each state was represented by screens playing local footage, and the map was outlined in vibrant neon light. This piece anticipated the coming age of digital interconnectedness, framing television not as a unifying monolith, but as a decentralized, diverse, and dynamic medium, a vision diametrically opposed to the fascist box. Paik's radical approach was shaped by his involvement in the Fluxus movement, a loosely connected group of artists in the 1960s and 70s who sought to collapse the boundaries between art and life. Influenced by figures like John Cage, Fluxus artists embraced randomness, performance, and anti-establishment critique. Paik took these principles into the realm of technology, positioning himself at the forefront of media activism through art. He believed in the democratization of media, long before the internet made that vision more tangible. In his 1974 manifesto, Media Planning for the Post-Industrial Society, Paik predicted the rise of electronic superhighways and advocated for two-way communication via television, effectively foreshadowing interactive media and the participatory culture of the internet. The themes Paik explored are not relics of the past. In fact, they are more relevant today than ever. While traditional television no longer holds the same power, its legacy lives on in smartphones, algorithms, streaming platforms, and social media feeds, all of which can function as new kinds of boxes. In many ways, the control has become more subtle but more pervasive. Recommendation systems dictate what we see. Echo chambers foster conformity. Surveillance capitalism uses our own data against us. The box is now in our hands, our pockets, and our bedrooms. And while the form has changed, the challenge Paik identified remains urgent. How do we prevent our tools of communication from becoming instruments of control? The answer may lie, as Paik believed, in artistic experimentation, user participation, and technological repurposing. By encouraging audiences to engage creatively with technology, to remix, to question, to play, we move closer to realizing a truly open and liberated media environment. Nam June Paik's declaration, "The box is a fascist symbol and I sought to destroy it," encapsulates not destruction for its own sake, but transformation through critique. He dismantled the authoritarian aesthetics of television and replaced them with pluralism, interaction, and play. He turned a rigid, hierarchical medium into a dynamic canvas for self-expression and global dialogue. Paik's legacy teaches us that the tools of mass communication are not fixed in their purpose. They can be subverted, reshaped, and reimagined, but only if we have the courage and creativity to challenge their original form. In that sense, Paik did not destroy the box, he freed it.